The story opens outside a massive corporate building deep in the countryside. A man stands at the gate carrying 2 large canisters of gasoline. He calmly tells the guard he's going inside to burn the entire place down. The guard laughs it off, threatens to count to 3 and beat him senseless. He barely finishes the countdown before the stranger moves with terrifying speed, disarms him, slams him to the ground without firing a single shot, then calmly strips the gun apart piece by piece and walks toward the building like he owns the place. Inside, a massive call center hall is packed with employees, every single one of them running a scam operation. The man walks straight into the middle of the room and speaks calmly. "Listen carefully and repeat after me. I will never steal from the vulnerable again." The workers just laugh. Nobody takes him seriously until he turns and starts smashing every computer and piece of equipment in sight. The room falls silent in shock. Fear spreads fast and people start mumbling his line back to him. He orders everyone to leave immediately because the building is about to burn. As people scramble out in panic, he douses the place in gasoline. That's when the manager storms in with his security team, demanding to know who this madman is. The stranger answers simply, he's a beekeeper. The manager, unwilling to lose a business that prints millions of dollars a minute, orders his guards to attack. What follows is brutal and one-sided. The man disarms, chokes, and takes down every guard thrown at him, using whatever's within reach: a phone cord, a monitor, a tablet. Within moments, the room is littered with bodies, and the manager is left trembling. The stranger plants 2 explosives on the gasoline canisters, wires them to a phone line, and calmly explains, "The next time any victim of this scam calls this number, the whole building goes up in flames." He walks out. Moments later, a call comes in from someone who lost their life savings, and the building explodes. So the real question is, why would a retired beekeeper come all this way to level a scam call center? The story rewinds 3 days. On a quiet countryside farm lives a man named Clay, a retired man who, after leaving his old life behind, rented a warehouse and started keeping bees, living a peaceful, simple existence. The landlady who rents him the property is a kind elderly woman. She never asks about his past and often invites him over for dinner, treating him like family. One day, while checking her bills online, a red alert pops up on her computer. A fake virus warning claiming her hard drive is infected, urging her to call immediately or lose all her data. Being an elderly woman with no technical knowledge, she panics and calls the number. Unknown to her, the man who picks up is the manager of that very scam company. This company, called United Data, specifically targets elderly victims. The manager quickly finds her bank account on her screen, 20 lakh rupees in savings. A jackpot. He manipulates her step by step until she downloads a program, giving him full control. Her screen goes black. When it comes back on, her account balance reads 0. At that very moment, the scam office erupts into celebration, dancing, cheering, thrilled at how easily they robbed her blind. Meanwhile, the elderly woman is devastated. That money wasn't just her life savings. It included funds meant for an orphan children's charity. The shock is more than she can bear. She can't imagine facing those children again. That night, Clay walks over with a jar of fresh honey, excited for dinner. He knocks repeatedly, but no one answers. Even though the lights are on, something feels wrong. He lets himself in and finds a gun and spent shell casings on the floor. She has taken her own life. Before Clay can even process it, a woman appears behind him with a gun raised, ordering him to his knees. She's the woman's daughter, an FBI agent who walked in to find her mother dead and a stranger standing there. To her, Clay looks like the obvious suspect. Only the manager remains, spinning in panic, all his earlier arrogance gone. Clay grabs his wrist, cuts off 2 of his fingers with a cutting tool, then tosses him into his car, sparing his life but leaving him broken. The manager escapes, drives to a bridge, and calls his boss in a panic. The boss assumes his men finished the job until he hears that 3 men are dead and his manager lost his fingers. He can't wrap his head around how a small-town beekeeper could be this dangerous. While the manager is still on the phone crying about what happened, Clay ambushes him again. Clay had followed him the whole time. He drags him out of the car and ties him up. This was always part of the plan. As Clay prepares to finish him off, the boss on the other end of the line hears his manager's screams in horror. A stranger's voice comes on the line, and from that moment, the boss becomes Clay's next target. Desperate, the boss reaches out to his company's security advisor, an old man who used to be a senior CIA director, brought in by the boss's mother to clean up her son's messes. The moment he hears the word beekeeper, the old advisor's expression changes completely. He's dealt with the boss's reckless behavior before, but this time feels different. He's certain the boss won't survive. Still, fear keeps him from refusing to help. Soon after, the boss's mother calls the advisor personally. She's no ordinary woman either. With just a few words, she convinces him to fully commit to protecting her son. The old man immediately calls in a favor from a top intelligence director he personally trained years ago. When the director hears that the target is a beekeeper, he's shaken but agrees to help regardless. He informs the advisor that the current active beekeeper is being deployed to deal with Clay personally. Meanwhile, Clay stops to refuel on his way toward Boston, honey bottle in hand, quietly grieving the woman who treated him like family. Suddenly, a car slams into his, and a striking, dangerous woman in glasses steps out, the current active beekeeper. She opens fire immediately, unaware Clay isn't even inside the car. When police arrive, she turns her gun on them too. Clay sneaks up from behind and jams her weapon before she can react, disarming her completely and slamming her onto the hood of the car. "You're retired, aren't you? Guess they sent you in my place," he says, before pulling her down by a strap around her neck. She fights back hard, landing a kick that he barely dodges, before pulling a knife. Their fight is fast and brutal, but Clay disarms her again. Furious, she rips the canvas off the back of a pickup truck nearby, blinded by rage. Forgetting they're standing at a gas station, Clay uses the opening, jumps into a car, and throws his honey bottle directly at her head, knocking her out cold. He lights a flare and throws it toward the truck. The entire area erupts into flames, and the woman is consumed by the fire. Before leaving, Clay cuts off part of her finger, knowing it'll be useful later. He hijacks a passerby's car and speeds off as a massive explosion rocks the gas station behind him. When the intelligence director learns the mission failed, he immediately warns the old advisor that they're now on their own. Protecting the boss just became far more serious. The advisor calls in an elite mercenary strike team led by a bearded commander, the only man who has ever actually managed to hurt a beekeeper before, though at a heavy cost. The boss is moved to his mother's heavily guarded seaside mansion. Security is airtight, with soldiers rotating shifts around the clock. The FBI agent also arrives to help with security, and the advisor brings his mercenary team along as backup. A helicopter lands. The mother, who happens to be the President of the United States, arrives to see her son. Despite his reckless, criminal behavior, he remains the center of her world, and in truth, his illegal dealings are part of what funded her rise to the presidency. Mother and son have always operated as a ruthless, calculating pair, but it seems their reckoning has finally arrived. To stop any intrusion, every manhole cover around the property has been welded shut, except Clay finds the one they missed. He slips in through the sewer system, hides beneath the truck, and when a guard comes to check it, chokes him out from below. He steals the guard's uniform and walks straight into the mansion. Inside, he changes into a suit and confidently joins the party in progress. The bearded mercenary leader spots him almost instantly and orders his men to surround him. Clay is forced to his knees at gunpoint, and the leader is ready to execute him on the spot. But the FBI agent objects, insisting he be arrested and taken in properly instead of killed outright. The leader refuses to listen, and the advisor signals for the kill. But just as the trigger is about to be pulled, he makes a classic mistake. He talks too much. Clay uses the split-second opening to break free and disappear into the chaos. Upstairs, the frightened boss and his mother are hiding in a locked room. An assistant rushes in to warn them that the intruder has broken through security and the entire mansion is in chaos. The president trembles in fear. By now, Clay has already made his way to the floor just below them, cutting down every obstacle in his path. Mercenaries, guards, anyone standing between him and his target, with precision, never harming a single innocent bystander in the process. Just as he reaches the floor where mother and son are hiding, the bearded leader steps in front of him. He wants to see Clay dead personally. A brutal one-on-one fight erupts. The mercenary is relentless, landing devastating blows, drawing blood, at one point pinning Clay's hand against a wall with his own knife. It looks like Clay might finally lose, until he notices something. The leader has a prosthetic leg. Clay kicks it out from under him, shattering it, and the fight turns instantly. He wrestles the knife away, stabs the leader's leg, and after a final struggle, finishes him for good. Bloodied and exhausted, Clay reaches the final door. The old advisor stands in his way, pleading with him to walk away. He's retired. He doesn't need to risk his life over this. Clay tells him plainly, this is personal. He's avenging the kind woman who treated him like family. When the advisor won't step aside, Clay breaks his fingers to force him out of the way and blows the door open. Inside, he finally confronts the boss, only to find the coward using his own mother as a human shield. The FBI agent arrives and points her weapon at Clay, but he looks her in the eyes and asks her to think clearly about who's actually responsible for her mother's death. He fires, and the shot goes straight through the boss. Without wasting another second, Clay smashes through a large window and disappears disappears into the night. The agent, gun still raised, doesn't pull the trigger. Deep down, she knows this stranger did what she, as an agent, never could. He got justice for her mother.